Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a new episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're all having a great start of, guess what, July. I'm sure I went on and on last week about how I couldn't believe it was July and how it's almost July. And because I love to do that. There's nothing like the beginning of the month and the ending of a month that gives me something to talk about. So I really enjoy these weeks. Excuse me, a little bit tired. I do need to stop for like a gas station coffee or something. I'm telling you, there's something about gas station coffee that is just... it's probably the lack of quality. Like, I actually think, like, if you go to... And we might have talked about this last week, funny enough. But if you go to, like, the very fancy establishments, like, they're giving you coffee that's probably less caffeine. Like, I feel like... I don't know how the production of coffee works at all. But I feel like the crappier the cup of coffee, usually the more, like, if not caffeinated, at least like bouncy caffeinated it is. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like a classy cup of coffee isn't gonna make you jittery like a 7-Eleven coffee. And here's the thing. Sometimes you need the 7-Eleven jitters, which will be the name of this podcast. Like, sometimes those 7-Eleven jitters, whether it's from the coffee, whether it's from, the food in their, like, hot bar there, like, whatever's happening over there, like, it's gonna wake you up. I saw they have a chicken sandwich now, like, they've jumped on the chicken sandwich bandwagon. I just sometimes wonder, like, where does their food come from? What is that show? I've never watched it, but oh my goodness, excuse me. I've never watched it, but I feel like I'm the perfect candidate for, like, How It's Made. Is that what it's called? How It's Made? I feel like it was one of those shows that was always on really late. Like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. Like if you were sick, or like maybe you had like the stomach bug and you woke up and you puked and you did the whole, like, you went to your parents' room and said, I puked, and they have to clean it up, and that's like what you watched while they were cleaning up your bed sheets so that you could go back to bed and sleep. And you were like, obviously not happy to be sick, but if it was just like a mild stomach bug, you're like, hey, I might get out of school tomorrow. I feel like what you watched was either like Mythbusters or like paid programming, so like the shopping channel, or a new option was How It's Made. And they would go through, like, a Twinkie ends up in a wrapper, but how does it get there? I feel like that is, like, the perfect show for me, because I'm always asking how all this stuff happens. It'd be the perfect response. It'd be the perfect content with the Nobody Asked for This podcast, in my humble opinion. But anyway... I hope everyone's having a good summer. It's finally actually started to feel like summer. I think for a while we were in this like weird limbo of like half summer where it was like actually freezing, pouring rain. What is this bus doing? Oh, I'm in the car, by the way, if that wasn't obvious. I fully leaned into like I am an on-the-go car podcaster. Which is really a niche. I think there used to be a show, I can't remember who did it, where he would like drive around in a car getting coffee with people. I can't remember. I'm sure if you Googled that concept it would come up, but again, I can't Google because I'm driving, and I'm actually, contrary to popular belief, I'm actually a very safe driver, knock on wood. I need to keep a piece of wood in the car. Do people do that? Like, just, what if you have to knock on wood? Like, what if something's happening? And I don't even really believe in, like, jinxing and stuff. Like, I think, whatever works for you, but that's maybe not my thing. But, yeah, I do, just in case. The amount of times I say knock on wood. I would also like to know the origin of knock on wood. How It's Made, knock on wood edition. So if we could just pull that up, that would be great. What I really need is like someone, like a typist. Is that a word? I need someone like in the corner being like, oh, okay, here, yeah, let's Google. Also, we are officially, like, it has been 3 years. I really did not make a big deal of the 3-year anniversary of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I feel like for the first year, I did like a whole, like, I even contemplated. I didn't do it, because everyone knows, like, I'm not much of a doer, but I contemplated getting, like, balloons. And then I was like, listen, we're already in the reds on this podcast financially. Like, I'm not buying balloons. Also, I do believe there is some sort of, like, a helium shortage that, I mean, I just don't want to contribute to. I wonder how there would be a helium shortage. Like, is there a finite type of, like, group of helium? And then where do we keep it? Where do we keep this helium? And then how do we know? It's like when everyone's like, well, the world's running out of gas. I'm sure they're right. I'm not denying it. I actually feel like I learned in school that, like, the world is running out of gas, and, like, one day, and it wasn't even that far away. They were like, one day in 2050, like, there's just no more gas. And it was kind of presented as the idea of, like, and then there's no cars, and then we're stuck. So I was like, well, that sucks. Like, how are we supposed to go anywhere? Like, I really thought, like, by the time I'm 40, where I'm at physically is where I'm at. Like, that's it for me. That's kind of how I interpreted it. But I am more of a doomsday thinker, and was at, grade 5 years old when they told me this information. So, again, I'm not saying any of this makes sense. I'm just telling you this is kind of where I'm all at. Ooh, I'm driving past one of these. You know how it's like, oh, let's pull a fare out of a truck. Those will always scare me. I don't know that I've actually ever been in a ride that at one point in the near past, at one point in the near past was in a truck, and then at one point in the near future we'll be back in a truck. If that makes sense. Do you know when they like do like a pop-up fair for like a holiday or something, and they just roll in all the trucks with these like contraptions that you're just supposed to get on and spin around, and we're just gonna trust that those aren't gonna cause any damage? I don't know. It seems a little peculiar to me. That's all I have to say about that. Anyway, back to helium. I would like an answer on that, so maybe I'll do a quick kind of follow-up in the next episode. Maybe I'll read about it. I've been having a really hard time with reading. Not like sounding out the letters or anything, just like hunkering down and reading a book. I've started like 7 books. I've liked them all at varying degrees, most of them not at all. But I just can't like sit, There's something, I think we should always prescribe, like, you just need to, like, sit. Because even in times where, like, I'm not saying I'm the busiest person in the world, clearly. It probably doesn't sound like that. But, like, even in times where I'm not doing much, like, I don't realize I'm not doing much, I need to just, like, sit. I've been reading a lot about, well, not reading, obviously, because I can't read. But you know what I mean. But I've been hearing a lot about grounding, where we're supposed to be, like, putting our feet in the earth. And again, just like helium, I don't know the science behind it, and I also don't know how much longer we have gasoline left in the solar system, or however it works. But, like, there is something to that of, like, let's just put our feet in the grass. Like, I'm sure that is, like, a connecting thing. Connecting to the earth. And what have you. And then maybe through that, like, maybe there is helium in us to go around. Maybe we can feed the earth with the helium that it needs. Maybe. I'm just spitballing here. That could be the other name of this podcast. Just spitballing. Although that's kind of a gross visual. I don't know that I want to make merch of spitballing. Not that I was planning to make merch, again, in the Reds. But I'm just getting all the ideas out. This is pretty much a how it's made episode for the Nobody Asked for This podcast. There you go. Think of it like that. Alrighty, what else has gone on this week? Not much. Listen, some weeks a bunch of things happen and I just think, man, I gotta tell the masses about what an interesting week I had. I think that's happened once or twice. But today, not so much. And that's okay. Not every day, well, I say this all the time, not every day has to be noteworthy. You know? Sometimes your big news of the day is, you got a new jar of pickles. I went highly into depth a couple episodes about bread and butter pickles and sweet and spicy pickles. I have yet to try. I don't think I've had a bread and butter pickle for sure since we talked about it. So I'm just still a liar. Why were they called bread and butter again? Oh yes, wasn't it because we Googled it? Aw, that's nice. There's a we. I think it was called bread and butter because it's what people used as like a sandwich feeling. They would put bread butter in these pickles when it was like hard times. Which, listen, we've all been there, for better or for worse. But yeah, I really could use one of those 7-Eleven coffees now that I think about it, which is not great because I am about to enter into traffic. Now, I'm hoping, fingers crossed, for whatever reason, summer traffic, like summer commuting traffic, I'm sure like if you're going on like a big road trip or something, that's a separate thing. But like the commute is usually a bit better during the summer months, just because, I think because school's out, but it's also like, I don't think all these 8-year-olds have like cars that are clogging the roads trying to drive themselves to like grade 3. So I don't know why it would be more busy, but there's that, that's one option for us. But yeah, there's just something about traffic. I think at the end of your lifetime, you should get, and I hope you do, because I haven't reached the end yet, knock on wood. Again, don't have wood. But I think you should get a report of like, just your stats. Like, do you know how at the end of the year, I don't have Spotify, but at the end of the year, they send you like a recap of like, this is all the music you listen to, these are your stats. I think you should get that, but for life. It should be like, you spent, 800 hours on the toilet. You spent 900 hours complaining. Like, I think you should see the breakdown. It'll tell you, like, your favorite activities are. You were really good at, Here's every time you went bowling. Here's the amount of time, the amount of spares. Like, I think you should get, like, a peer-reviewed article, like the ones they used to make us read in, university. And you get to see, like, everything you did. I think that would be really fun. And in fact, I would like to be able to share that information with others. So if we could maybe get it, like, the week before the end. Like, do you know how even with Spotify, like, yeah, like, they call it, like, this is your full year, but you get it in December. So it's like, there really are a few weeks unaccounted for. I think we should do something like that. Where it's like, these are your stats. This is what's up. And then you could like post it and show people, and then you could compare. Now the fun of Spotify Wrapped from an outsider is you all get it at the same time. And that is just not how these things work. Although I guess I didn't have to go morbid with it. We could all just get that report now. I don't know who would be tracking this information. Like, that just seems like a task. Trying to get everyone's, like, how many hours you spent on the toilet. In fact, that seems illegal. That seems highly, highly illegal. But if there is a way for, like, omniscient narrator. Look at that. Might not be able to read, but I can pull out the term omniscient narrator. If there's a way that one of those could pop up and help us out, that would be great. And just hit us with those stats. Hit us with the numbers. I really do miss reading. Like, there's nothing more that I want to do right now other than have a 7-Eleven coffee to wake me up. But other than that, I would like to just curl up with a good book, even a bad book, just a decent book. I'll take decency is good enough for me. That's kind of like my slogan, you know? Decency in the sense of like, we're all good, but also decency in like, oh, that's good enough, that's decent. I don't know if I'm like twisting the term of that word, the definition of that term too much, but regardless, this is just where I'm at. I'm having an allergy problem again. For some reason, my right eye has decided that it has worse allergies than my left eye, and I would like an explanation. I would like that wrapped up in my report as well. Ooh, that would be fun. Like, how many times did you sneeze? And it could give you like, excuse me again, it could give you like that breakdown of like, you sneezed most in the spring. Or like, how many Tylenol did I take? There's really no, like, how many Diet Cokes did I drink? How much Splenda did I end up consuming? How much of those chemicals that they say are not good for you that are in Diet Coke did I actually consume? And then can we compare that to like the daily recommended amount and then do a division equation or whatever it's called to figure out what's up, you know? I still am waiting on like the official report of like Diet Coke is good or Diet Coke is bad, and I don't think it's coming. Now, that has not stopped me from drinking Diet Coke, nor would it, because here's the thing. Here's the thing that is not factored in on all these nutritional labels. Be it kale, be it a sweet potato, be it a bag of chips, a bag of Cheetos, like, we don't factor in, like, the fun. What happened to the fun? Tell me, like, what percentage of my daily joy is this bag of broccoli gonna give me? I actually like broccoli, like, to be honest. I know it's kind of silly, but like, every once in a while, I'm like, I could go for some broccoli. And it does smell. Not as bad as cauliflower. Has anyone gotten to the bottom of why cauliflower smells like that? Because sometimes I'll be making cauliflower rice, and I'm like, this does not smell correct. Or like, one time, I failed, unfortunately, so I actually haven't tried this food, but I grossly mismade cauliflower gnocchi, like, to the point where it wasn't food safe, like, it was contaminated, so, like, I couldn't eat it, but I was smelling it, and I was like, this just smells like cauliflower, which I guess it was supposed to always smell like cauliflower, or sorry, this smells like, yeah, it smelled too much like cauliflower. What part of the gnocchi is cauliflower? Is it like the stuffing on the inside? Maybe I have to find a different brand. I don't know how widely accessible cauliflower gnocchi is. Okay, maybe that'll be my goal for the next episode of the Nobody Asked for This podcast. I can come back with a full review on cauliflower gnocchi, or as I like to call it, ganache. Gnocchi really is one of those terms where, like, you pronouncing it right sounds like you're pronouncing it wrong. Like, it sounds like, I feel like in the hills of Italy where they make the coffee that we were talking about last week, they would say, a ganache, you know, like something like that, like Versace. But I'm pretty sure it's gnocchi. Like with the soft G. But that doesn't sound right to me. Because a silent letter such as that seems very English to me. because English loves to just, let's just throw in a Q. Why not? Let's just add a K. You know what? We have this word. We have the word knife. You know what would be really fun and confuse all the children? Let's just put a K in front of it. For no reason. Whoever came up with all of those like rules must have been an insufferable person. Like, you're just making it hard for no reason. Like, are you kidding me? We're spelling the word gnome with a G. Why? Also, whoever decided that there's going to be one word that has like either same spelling, multiple meanings, or multiple meanings with different spellings, it's like, why? Why did we do that? Like, did we not have, I mean, no offense, but like, did we not have a bright enough imagination to just think of a new word? I don't know. Really grinds my gears. I feel like once I started talking about my allergies, my throat got raspy. Did anyone else notice that? Maybe I need some water. Let me take a sip from my Awala water bottle. Oh wait, one sec. I think I'm taking this exit. Okay, update for anyone curious. I did not take the exit. Me and Siri do this thing where, like, when I leave the house, she'll tell me to go one way. And I used to just trust that. You know, like, I don't have the phone battery capacity to, like, have my GPS on this entire time. Like, it's just not going to work, especially in traffic. My phone also loves to overheat. It loves to only be able to do one thing at a time. It's like a whole thing. So, I'll just turn it off. But then when I get to the points where I remember her telling me, you know, you gotta exit, I'll sometimes do a quick double check just to make sure she didn't change the plan on me. Now, 98% of the time, what has she done? She has changed the plan. But that's okay. You gotta be flexible, especially in these times. I love saying it. I love blaming stuff that is like so cool. Like, there's a lot you can blame on these times, but there's also a lot you can blame on my own self, and I love intermixing the two. I love being like, nothing I could do, you know? It was out of my hands when it like was fully in my hands. I don't know. Oh, what else did I do this week? Oh, I had a that's what I wanted to talk about. I had a lobster roll. Not to brag. And I'd heard rumors that this was like what fancy people are eating, lobster rolls. And those rumors were confirmed when I saw the price. Now, it was not at like a, 5-star restaurant. I don't know, I guess at a 5-star restaurant, you probably don't get a lobster roll. You probably get like a lobster fillet or whatever. But I got like the classic, like in the bun that you would get at like a boardwalk at the Jersey Shore, and I enjoyed it. Like, did I think like, oh, this tastes rich? Not necessarily, but it tasted summery. It tasted like, let's go to the beach, which I'm actually not a beach person. I've thought long and hard about this. I don't love the beach. Again, but if I want to get into reading and grounding, that might be the actual place to do it, because I feel like you can do both of those things, potentially even at the same time at the beach. So there's that. I guess I'll just have to think about it. I'm thinking of adopting a new personality in 2026. Like, 2025 we're set. It's halfway through the year. Like, I'm not going to make any major changes. But, like, I'm starting kind of pre-planning for 2026. I also, do you know how everyone's like, 2020, whatever, it's going to be my year. Well, like, the biggest joke was when everyone thought 2020 was going to be our year. And it was a year of something else. But I'm in early, like, pre-production for what will hopefully be my year in 2026. Step number 1 is nailing down that is actually the year. That next year is 2026. Yes, that's correct. I'm really bad at knowing the date. Like, if it's not the beginning or the end of the month, like, I don't know. Couldn't tell you. What is happening here? Oh, I see. Okay. I figured out what was happening here. I do have to say, speaking of the rich, obviously, like, if I made enough money to the point where I didn't, there could just be like a Cadillac Escalade ready to go at any entry point of any building I was in, ready for me to be like, you know what, I gotta get out of here. Like, obviously I would pay for that service. And I would be generous with it. Like, anyone else, any of my friends, you need a ride, let's go. But, like, I would still kind of want to drive myself. If nothing else, just for the peace. Now, I would like to be able to buy some sort of I would like to buy my way, because obviously I'll be rich, so I can just buy my way into anything. I would like to buy my way into the fast lane, because I do believe even if you're being chauffeured, like, 2 people in a car is 2 people in a car. So, like, you're good to go in not the fast lane, the, like, the HOV, like the high occupancy vehicle lane. That moves a little bit faster. Although there's no joke like being in that fast lane, like the carpool lane, and looking over and the people in the not carpool lane are going faster than you. But, like, I'm too stubborn to get out of the carpool lane. I'm like, no, I am special. I coordinated with someone to, like, arrive at a destination at the same time so that we could be faster. And you also never really know, like, traffic is so sporadic. You could be in traffic in one lane, switch lanes, and then the lane that you got out of, there's something more frustrating. Then when the lane that you just switched out of starts moving. And it's like, are you kidding me? Is this a joke? It is a joke. But not like a ha-ha joke. Like a sad joke. A sad joke. Joker 2. Which I actually never saw Joker 2. I heard it was terrible. Either way, what are you gonna do? We find ourselves here regardless. Yeah, I don't know what has happened to my voice in the last 10 minutes. It's just very dry. Although maybe it's the screaming over my car. That is the only problem with... Well, maybe not the only problem. Like, you could probably think of a few others. But with doing car podcasting, it's the yelling over my engine. Now, if I had an Escalade, that is the pro of having a driver. Not that I know, but, like, even when I was younger and was doing my homework at the last minute, I always did my homework, but it was always at the last minute. It was nice to be, like, being driven by my mom to school, like, just in the back doing work. I would like to recreate that experience as an adult. Where it's like, I'm going to choose to take an Uber today so that I can, write my dissertation. Because that's definitely something I have to do. I have to dissertate. Is that a word? I don't know. What day of the week is it? These, like, when there's a holiday that's not on a Sunday or a Monday or a Friday, like, when there's, like, a weekday, like, we all get the day off, that is just... I mean, I never want to complain. Actually, that's so untrue. I always complain. But I feel bad complaining for time off. But, like, at a certain point, like, it just throws you off. So, like, let's just take that whole week off. Yeah, let's forget about these bank holidays. Let's just take bank weeks. Like, just shut the whole thing down. As much as possible. Like, maybe we all take shifts. For teamwork. Anyway, I hope everyone has a great week. Apologies for the raspy voice. Also, apologies if, like, you didn't hear it. Because sometimes I'll hear it, and then I'll, like, listen back quickly to a clip and not hear it. And then it's like, oh, well, you literally just spent 10 minutes talking about something that, like, doesn't exist. which is one of my talents, now that I think about it. And if you would like to hear more of that talent on display, just that wealth of whatever that would be called, you can go to podcastnobodyaskedforthis.podbean.com. On there you can find links to everything. Listen just straight on the website, listen to our Spotify, listen to our Apple podcasts. And I hope everyone has a great week. I hope you have a great summer. You'll still hear from me, but I hope your summer starts going well. And take care, everybody. Goodbye.